Good morning, everyone. So here we are with another day of beekeeping. Today's goal is to install a queen. I've got one for each of these hives. We're going to stuff them in here somehow. My goal is to probably take out one of the existing frames that's full of storage and provide them with one of these empty frames where on one side there's a lot of wax that they could start using almost immediately. This one is a little light. The other side's completely empty. So I will be taking away some of their storage while at the same time providing them a new queen. I'll try to see if there's an existing queen before I drop it in, but for the most part, this box, this little wooden container is going to sit right inside. Let's get started, shall we? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to set the box on top just to see how they react. I didn't use smoke when I opened the hive. I just got smoke nearby just in case they get a little frisky. But I think what I'm going to do, because if we look at how this is situated, you know, we need to get this in between the frames. So I'm going to have to take some frames out, obviously, and then kind of squeeze them inside. And so I think what I'm going to do is just attach it to one of the existing frames I have outside the box. That way they've got room to, you know, do their thing. So let's go ahead and get that going. So if I recall correctly, this outer frame was the one that wasn't being used much, so I might shuffle it around because that'll provide me some space to leverage. It just means I'm taking out more storage, but that's fine because there's still plenty of season left for them to grab food. I'm more concerned about the bee population dropping than anything else at this moment in time. So this was that frame. It's all storage on this one side, which is expected. This side is nothing but storage. Not all of it is capped, which is fine. But here, I could tuck this queen frame right up beside the top of that frame and tuck it in there. And I believe it was the second frame that was capped storage, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's all except for the very bottom corner. It's all capped, and that's all storage. This side is pretty much the same, so I think what I'll do is just leave this frame out and let them rob it later. So now I'm just going to move all these frames a little bit to the left so I can insert stuff into the middle. Still some drone brood on the bottom. Everything else is storage. Much lighter frame. We got some fragmented queen cells at the bottom, which they're probably not going to do anything. And of course I don't quickly spot a queen anywhere. So I just want to do this effectively. We've got this other frame that's empty. And it should just stick right on in. There's room in the exit hole for the queen to get out when they eat all the candy. And that's using the pressure of all of these frames to hold it together. So you can see the box is face down. It's face down so that the bees could easily get to it, because I'm gonna put, you know, the queen excluder and the top lid on top, but there we go. So this hive is requeened. So I'll check back at the end of this week to see if they've emptied that cage, because they shouldn't be in there. They should be doing their job. How's the ants? I see no ants. Haha! Alright, so this hive, I forget which frames I could take out, so this is going to be a little exploratory, but again, here's the queen cage. The queen is the big one on the right side on the bottom. You can see the upper abdominal of it. It's not marked. This is the hole where they're going to chew their way through this candy fondant right here, and then they'll climb out that hole. This hole is plugged so they can't get out of it. This just has the candy to keep them in there. So let's go exploring and figure out what frame I could take out. This one's gonna be different because I've only got one extra. I think what I'll do is just crush one of the existing frames to fit them in there. This outer frame is super heavy. It does have a little drone comb on the bottom, so I think this will be the frame that I take out. Let's do it. So we're gonna scooch everything over. All these are good looking frames of storage. I don't want it for myself because I want the bees to have it for the winter time. Alright, so here, this frame, I see some larvae, but again, I think it's all going to be drone. I say it's going to be drone because they're building the walls a little higher. So like the walls of these, they've got larvae inside of them, but the walls are like lifted off the surface of the comb. So they're not going to be worker bees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crush a portion of this top part. You know, they're already trying to eat some of it right now because I smoked them a little bit. And then I could put the queen right in there. And again, just using friction to hold all this together. So let me clean this frame off of bees, and I'm doing this just to center everything. Like I want the queen bee to be in the center. So we've got a new frame. It's got usable wax covering probably about 75% of this. This side is empty. So while the queen is eating her way, or while the workers that are tending to the queen eat their way out of the cage, they could be cleaning up this frame, making it usable. Alright. So this one, there's not really a lot of wax to hold it in. Alright, so the camera turned off, so I don't know. But the queen cage is now installed, again facing downward. And they've got plenty enough room in front as well as behind. It's gonna be the front side that's got the candy that they'll eat themselves out of. So both of these hives are now requeened. We've added queen cages to both of these hives. I'm not gonna know until probably 2 weeks from now whether or not they were successful at accepting the queen. So I'll hop in this weekend to see if they at least got the queen out of the cage. But other than that, we're done for the day. Good luck.